We've had stalkers. I've had to we've had people where I block them and then they make new accounts and stalk us again, and I've had to go to the police a couple times. Like one of them is actually a cyclist who just kind of doesn't like what we're doing, I guess, because we fall outside the norm of cycling. Welcome to our Colourful Life. Hello, my name is Travis, and this is my cat Sigrid. And we ride around London, meeting people and kind of spreading smiles everywhere. I got Sigrid from a breeder. She's a Norwegian forest cat, so I got her from a Norwegian forest cat breeder in Los Angeles. I lived in San Francisco at the time, so I brought her up there and then had her for 3 years in San Francisco, and then we relocated to London. Her name is Sigrid, so I chose the name Sigrid because my father's side of the family immigrated to the US from Norway, and she's a Norwegian forest cat, and Sigrid's a Norwegian name, so it seems fitting. She is 100% deaf. So white cats that have blue eyes have like an 80% chance of being deaf, so most of them are deaf. And I think it probably does help. I often call it a superpower because she's not afraid of traffic, or, she really hates dogs, but when they bark, she can't hear them, so she's not afraid of them at all. And I think it really does help her a lot. So I relocated to London for a job, for a startup, right before the pandemic. So when the pandemic hit, I was made redundant. And because I'm American, I was not allowed to find another job because of my visa situation. So I started riding my bike every day, and since I was hanging out with Sigrid all the time at home, I decided to bring her with me one day, and she just really loved it. And we got a lot of smiles from people, so we just kind of kept doing it, and it's been very popular. When we first started doing the bike rides, I used the chest harness because I didn't have a basket on my bike or anything. We don't use them much anymore, but I'll still break it out once in a while because I have 3 bikes, and one of them doesn't have a basket on it, so I'll put her in the chest harness when I ride that bike. And it's quite silly because she's got her arms and legs dangling, but so she has a little safety harness, so she's attached to the basket, so she can't get out there. And then when I have her out of the basket, she's always on a leash, so I let her chase squirrels sometimes, and I have like a 30-meter long lead, but it's like a wire lead, so you can't really see it in the video, but she's always on a leash. So I always had an Instagram that I had kind of made as a joke personally, and I was just posting, the typical stuff like my dinner and outfits and stuff like that. And so when I took her for a ride, I kind of posted a short video clip because I thought if I'm going to do this silly thing, I may as well video it. And just the reaction we got was so good. I kept posting, and then eventually we started posting to other channels, TikTok and Twitter and Facebook and stuff. And yeah, now we get recognized all the time. Someone in Moscow messaged me and said that they were showing my videos on the tube there. So they have video screens on the tube where they play just like social media videos to entertain people, and they saw one of my videos there, which I thought was crazy. So they're watching us in the Moscow metro. So we rode our bike past Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear. And we all know he's got pretty strong opinions about cyclists, and he kind of saw us go by, and the face he made, I got it on video, I have a little photo of it, but the face he made was just completely, baffled, and just, I don't think we improved his opinion of cyclists at all. Boy, Helena Bonham Carter, that wasn't too surprising because she lives near me, but it was quite interesting because she came to me. I was just walking up the sidewalk and she was like, "Oh my gosh, come here, let me see that cat," which I thought was probably unusual. Probably my favorite one is, there's a really popular Japanese toy called Bear Brick, which is like this fancy collectible toy that you often see like in sneaker shops and stuff like that. And the co-founder and COO follows us and messages us sometimes, which is pretty crazy because they're like a pretty huge brand in Japan. Yeah, we just have fans, all kinds of fans from all kinds of walks of life. It's pretty interesting. I think it's just really unusual for cats to kind of be outside on leashes, and it's especially unusual to see a cat on a bike or things like that. And so she's very beautiful, and she's very white, she's very bright. People see us coming, and so they look, we draw their eye, and then they look and they're like, "Oh my gosh, there's a cat on that bike," and it's just very unusual, so it draws attention. And then people see her and they're like, oh, they want to pet her, and it just kind of, it's unusual and it's cute. She stands up for herself and she tries to chase dogs and attack them. And I think people always like to kind of root for the, no pun intended, they like to root for the underdog, and she's kind of the underdog, and she has a big personality and a small cat. What I really want to do is get over to the continent. So I'd like to go over to Amsterdam, on the ferry, and then we would cycle down to Brussels over the course of 3 or 4 days. I think, exploring around Amsterdam and exploring around Belgium, I think would be quite a lot of fun. So hopefully we'll be able to do that this summer. Yeah, so we do have another cat named Ilva, and she's a Bengal. She's 12 years old now. And I do take her out on the bike once in a while. I take her for walks around the neighborhood, but she's more of a homebody. She's got a lot of anxiety. and her favorite thing to do is eat and sleep. And so she likes to go out, like I take her out for little trips and she'll be all anxious and stuff. But then when we get home, she's so excited and proud that she went out and she gets all hyper. So I know she likes it, but she's definitely more of a homebody. We do a lot of work with the London cycling campaign. So obviously we go to, kind of like cycling gatherings and protests and fundraising rides and stuff like that. And we've been trying to branch out and do more charity work. So we went to the Frank Barnes School for Deaf Children recently, which was a lot of fun. Like the kids really identified with the deaf cat. And we're doing some work with a Smiley company to visit and talk to celebrities about the charity work that they do to try to give them some exposure. So it's really good. It's good to take our audience and kind of put it towards a good cause. London can be pretty hectic to cycle in. Obviously there's a lot of traffic, a lot of stuff going on. But I've been cycling in cities for 16, maybe 20 years now. So I feel pretty comfortable cycling around traffic. But obviously when I have Sigrid with me, I'm even more cautious than I usually am. We had one interaction where I pulled up to a light and this white van driver pulled up next to us and he saw my camera and he was like, "Oi, what are you recording for?" Thinking that I was looking for like traffic violations to report. And I was like, "Oh, I'm recording the cat," and he's like, "Oh, I didn't even see you had a cat." And it was like a light switch. Like he instantly became friendly and happy where he was coming to confront me. Like there was one time where we were doing, there's a newspaper, Ham and High, so we were meeting a photographer for a photo shoot. And we were in Hampstead Heath at the cafe, and this dog walker came up with 3 off-leash dogs, and of course they went nuts because she didn't really have control of them. And then she was like, "Why do you have a cat here? We walk our dogs in the heath because there's no cats. You shouldn't have a cat." I'm like, "You have your dogs here. Why can't I have a cat?" Yeah. We get a lot of mean and hateful comments from kind of like the anti-cyclist people, and then also from dog people, which is quite strange. We've had stalkers. I've had to we've had people where I block them and then they make new accounts and stalk us again, and I've had to go to the police a couple times. Like one of them is actually a cyclist who just kind of doesn't like what we're doing, I guess, because we fall outside the norm of cycling. And so for months, like every couple weeks, he would pop up and say something nasty, and then he had multiple accounts. Like I'd block him on Twitter and then he would show up in a different account. And then there's another guy that's been following us, and he's actually from Montreal in Canada. And I don't know how he found us, but he keeps making new accounts. And you can always tell because he'll make a new account and I'll get a nasty comment. And if I look at the other comments from that account, they'll be like in French or like on Canadian forums or something like that. And I'll be like, "Okay, it's this guy, he's back." Like, what are we doing to inspire hate? Like, we're just out here trying to make people smile, but some people take offense to, the fact that we have a cat or that we're on a bicycle or whatever. People often call her a fashion icon, and I've got a box of outfits for her at home. Like, she's got like 20 outfits. We do have the riding goggles for her. She doesn't always want to wear them. I give her the choice. So when we ride and I see that, the wind is bugging her eyes, or if I see her eyes watering at all, I'll put them on and then give her like 5 minutes and see if she tolerates them. And sometimes she'll be fine with it and she'll wear them, and sometimes she doesn't. So yeah, we did write a book called Sigrid Rides that's out now. And I did talk quite a bit about mental health in that book, as I was going through a pretty serious depressive time in my life when I started writing with her. But kind of what I discovered is going out and spreading smiles and making other people happy and kind of spreading that joy and seeing all these people that we make happy every day kind of lifted my spirits as well, and has really helped me quite a lot. Thank you for watching Our Colourful Life. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.